Was there a secret meaning behind hands? Did the ninth gate try to tell us something when the girl kept hers in her pockets? Was there a secret to this puzzle that few have noticed? We take a look at The Hands of Fate in The Ninth Gate, directed by Roman Polanski, released in 1999, and loosely based on the novel The Club Dumas, written by Arturo Pérez-Reverte. In making my last video, researching who was the girl, I noticed she was hiding her hands during Balkan's lecture. In first viewing, the film wants us to pay attention to her shoes, not her hands. The first clue on your second viewing is how Corso has his hand up near his face. Look around the room. She isn't like the others. As the camera moves to our right, we see most every guest with their hands exposed, including Balkan standing behind his podium. I took this as a symbol of difference between the supernatural beings and the normal. The girl hides her hands throughout the first act. During the lecture, inside the library, we never see them behind the shelves. In the train, she keeps them pinned by the glass. She first reveals her bare hands when she shows Corso the book she was reading in the hotel. Does this look familiar? When standing around, she prefers to hide them. She doesn't use them in a fight with Bruno, unless she's pacifying Corso. The girl uses her hands to point, showing Corso direction. She will use her hands when she wants the future to play out, as she predicted, as she wanted. While the girl is sly, Corso is not. He is introduced shaking an alcoholic drink to the camera as he is about to swindle his clients. It's not a coincidence that this close-up only shows his hands. He throws his hands into the air when accosted by beggars. He enters through the tower door in a mid-shot, but has his hand up near his shoulders. His hands define him, even when asleep. By now, you see when it comes to hands, he is the opposite of the girl. This is a symbol of his character. He doesn't have an agenda, just a man who was hired to investigate a book. He has no other motivation. But what about everyone else, all the other normals? Balkan makes a good example when he waves his hands into the fire, believing he will feel no heat, no pain. It didn't work out for him. Were there others who used their hands in exaggerated ways? You may be surprised. Witkin, Dean Corso's competitor, is first to throw his finger into Corso's face in a display of envy. Then there's Liana Telfer, who the Baroness Kessler described as a creature. Liana used her hands as claws when attacking Corso over the book. There are other scenes that show a world of hands. In the hotel, in two cuts, Kessler's secretary is pawing at oranges. The oranges themselves may play a hidden meaning transversing the stairs, but I won't say how in this video. There is one other, where two women point into a jewelry case, one of them with an unusually long index finger. Perhaps a subtle sign of greed. Speaking of greed, is there an association between hands and the deadly sins? We see greed, lust, gluttony, wrath, envy, pride, and sloth. There is also that time requiring only one finger. I'm sure many of you are shaking your heads that I'm stretching this too far. You may be thinking by now, what's the big deal? Hands are useful, helps drive a car, great for holding drinks and making a phone call. Can't smoke a cigarette very easily without them. But not everyone has a hand, do they? Before I explain the meaning behind Kessler's missing hand, make sure to like, share, or subscribe if you want to see more videos like this one. The Baroness Kessler, she is as mysterious as any other character. Trapped in her second-floor residence, she is unable to use her legs and lives in a world created from a single encounter with the devil. Kessler is without a right hand, having only a stump. She conceals it and shows it only when giving direction to Corso, as in showing him the way out. The Baroness without her hand is evidence her encounter with the devil was real. It was a price she paid for her experience with the supernatural. When you conceal your hand in this film, You have a terrible secret, a supernatural secret. Let me know in the comments below, do you think this was a kooky theory? This is Mr. G from Synergy saying, be kind to truck drivers. Check out some other videos on my channel. Thanks for watching.